Hi, I'm Kimera. Here's my approach to product management in a new software tech startup. Our instinct as humans is to be led by our excitement to create something. And this is where a lot of brand new companies shoot themselves in the foot because they think of something super cool to build, they build it and hope for the best. When you throw spaghetti at the wall, you end up with a large amount of spaghetti on the floor. The better approach is a bit more systematic, so we actually serve customers the kind of spaghetti they want to pay for multiple times a week and invite their friends to join. What I love about a fresh startup is our ability to get a little messy in the kitchen, but with a tasteful amount of structure to minimize waste and risk. With that being said, I like to borrow some frameworks from collegiate and corporate structure, but modify or use only the bits I find particularly useful. So, as a product manager, if today was my first day joining your new company and you've never had a product manager, this is what I would do. And let's pretend you haven't built the product yet, but if you already have, consider these steps like an audit of what you've already built to inform how you might improve on what you've started. First, I will look at your core business model just with a really tried and true format. I want to understand your positioning, your mission, your product goal. I'll help you build out your team charter so everyone on the team is on the same page with our values and our decision-making processes. We'll establish our methods of how we innovate and build projects. And if we have ideas for many products, we'll organize those into growth horizons so we always know we're nurturing our core revenue-driving product before exploring too much experimental territory. And there are frameworks I use to determine which ideas are worth pursuing. Second, we'll go on a deep dive into who our customer is, what they need, how they feel, and how our product will become embedded in their daily lives. The last thing we want to do is churn and burn. A purchase is not success to me. Retention is. Once we know our customer inside and out, that's when we can talk about the product design. So let's go deeper into this stuff. Here's my product creation or audit framework that I've mapped out with inspiration from some well-practiced concepts. It's 5 major steps. 1, establishing the idea, aka the problem we're going to solve with our product. Number 2, making sure it satisfies our 3 core teams, the user experience, engineering, and business. Number 3, exploring all possible solutions. Number 4, testing our theories to see if we're right before spending a whole lot of money building something we haven't verified. And then number 5, evaluating how our tests went and deciding to commit to building it, pivot, or kill the idea altogether. Okay, so we have our problem to solve. We now have to prove if this is even a problem real people have. We should also talk to real people. If we design this, what will the user's visceral response be? And can we enhance that experience? Will they know how to use it without needing a manual? Is it intuitive? After they use it, will they feel like it was worth the money? Will they keep using it? And really, how convinced are we? If we're pretty convinced, then we can jump into the tech conversation. Are we capable of building this? Do we have the resources and skills? And how can we build the simplest version of this to see if people respond? Should we just do a smoke test and see if people would actually buy it? Can we fake the experience to see if people find it useful? And then, if engineering feels this is an idea worth moving on, we need to have the business conversation so we make sure we maximize the product's value. We want to ask a lot of questions about the product's viability and our ability to sell it. Does it meet our objectives? Will we be able to measure outcomes? What alternatives already exist? What evidence do we have that there's a real market for this? Also, what does success look like to us? And what happens to the business if our idea fails? If our conviction is high enough, we move forward. When we're committed to our validated ideas, the work starts to get really fun and we can start taking action. A lot of software companies are subscribing to agile methodologies and Scrum, systems for getting work done in short, focused cycles, staying transparent as a team, and being able to change course quickly when something isn't working. This is the FigJam project I built to map all of this out, and when it's time to execute, I move into an app called Jira, which a lot of software companies use. This contains our living, prioritized master to-do list called the backlog. We have our larger parent priorities called epics. User stories within our epics are kind of like the main tasks, which are written out like, as this type of user, I want to do something so that I can achieve this result. In this example, our summary is to build automatic plosive detection and removal. And our user story is, as a home studio vocalist, I want plosives removed automatically so that I can keep emotional takes without re-recording. And as a team, we need to agree on what done looks like. This is is also known as the definition of done or acceptance criteria. Then we add subtasks of all the steps we need to take to accomplish this. In Scrum, our developers vote on the level of complexity of each story by assigning story points, usually on a scale from 1 to 10 or Fibonacci sequence. Over time, we learn how many story points the team can handle in a given time block. That number is called your team's velocity, and that helps you understand what workload is possible in a given sprint. A sprint is a segment of time to finish given stories and tasks or fix priority bugs. This method helps the team stay collaborative and self-managed as we work toward the same goal. Whenever we finish a sprint or launch a product, this is where we really need to observe the real outcomes compared to the outcomes we predicted and be ready to pivot and improve. Analytics are our friend, and there are more ways to measure outcomes than just how many people signed up. We watch them use it. What did they click? When did they abandon the product or drop out of the funnel? Why did that happen? We also look at the 5 phases of our customer experience journey and maximize each step. How is our acquisition of new users going? How are we measuring that? What does success look like? What are we testing to see if we can improve this? How is onboarding going? Engagement, are habits forming? Is there continued use? What outcomes are they experiencing? Did we solve their problem? Retention, are they buying more of our products within 6 months? Are they inviting friends? Building cool things is fun. Building things people actually need and can't stop talking about is the real win. Dig deeper, do better, have bigger impact, and build a successful company your team will be proud to be part of.